We are. But yeah, like played EverQuest, um, like Guild Wars, World of Warcraft. Growing up, there's pretty much no MMO that I didn't play. Then the last one was like League of Legends, and then I sort of got into more MOBAs in like team fight tactics, and in League of Legends, and then eventually got into auto battlers with team fight tactics when they released that. But yeah, like a very very broad range of games. The only games that I sort of don't like, and I think it's because I've got pretty poor eyesight, is like first person shooters.
Oh yeah. So you don't play Valorant or Call of Duty?
I've tried. Obviously, you can't grow up playing games and
Yeah.
have the friends that I do and not get brought into a game of COD and whatever. I'm just terrible at it. Same thing with Counter Strike growing up. Like I was actually better at Counter Strike, but I found as the FPSs got more complex and their shooting systems got more accurate, my eyes just couldn't keep up. Like the some of the headshots you see in Fortnite, like when they're building like 50 different structures like in midair, it's just like what the hell is happening over there?
Got you. Totally got you. Yeah, I mean that's a lot of games. That's awesome. Um, Professor, your
Yo,
turn.
what games did I
No,
play
no,
growing
no.
up?
Like your question turn.
Um, I guess we can just get right into it. I mean, the first question I have, I guess it's more mindset related. Because building a great product, especially when it comes to building a AAA game, it takes such a long time. But with the NFT space, they want everything now. Like they want the project to be out now. They want to do 100x now. So how do you make sure you build a great long-term project while still satisfying short-term needs of the community?
It's actually a really, really good question. And it's something that internally we're battling with all the time. And I would actually say that more so the guys that are actually in the trenches practically building this stuff, it becomes more apparent to them because they're sitting there, day in day out. My position is more so front facing, where I get into the marketing. I'm talking with community members, with our investors, with our partners, and so for me, it's just another thing that I'm required to do in order to navigate through this space. But the developers and the artists who are very, very aware of how long it takes to actually build a AAA game. They know that with Alluvium, we've done this faster than any Web 2 studio has ever done in history, right? Like it's to the beta that you're playing with the quality of graphics, the quality of gameplay mechanics, that was built literally in 12 months from a studio that didn't exist 12 months ago. Like that is, and I can say, like, if it wasn't the case, I would literally, again, I'm not the one building it. I don't have that bias there sitting there like, oh, that's my artwork, and you know defending it and all that stuff. Like it's being made by two brothers of mine, and obviously they're the ones who are one's instructing the dev team, one's instructing the art team. So for me, if either of those were not up to scratch, I would literally happily say it and say, you know what, we undercooked that. We're actually 2 3 years away. But that isn't the case. Like they have delivered AAA quality from gameplay mechanics, from a lore standpoint, from a graphics standpoint in 12 months. And so for them, it's very, very hard to grasp like a community that's sitting there saying like when, because they know that they're so much further ahead than what a typical Web 2 studio or any Web 3 studio would is generating. But it sort of doesn't matter, right? Because we're in crypto. And so, regardless of anything, people want things yesterday. And, unfortunately, it just can't happen when you're talking AAA quality. So how we deal with it, we just try and be as transparent as possible with our community. We're always sharing our progress. We're always giving people, the community, the most up to date information based on what we have, and we're getting to the point now where I think people are comfortable that Alluvium is not a rug pull or a scam, or like they've never built a game before. Like all of that stuff is kind of fading away now. And so we're probably at a position, or a crossroads where we can literally go to the community now and say, how exactly do you want to see this play out over the next 6 months, right? Like, do you want modular delivery where we're giving you an updated version of survival mode, which is what you guys are playing right now, and then we deliver the overworld, we deliver Illuvium Zero, we deliver like bit by bit by bit by bit, which theoretically should satisfy the people that are saying when, but does it lose its like overall appeal because it's been a modular release? And that's sort of the question that we have right now, and that's probably what we're going to put to the community, because that's the craziest part about this whole thing. And I know I've been talking for a long time, but it's community driven, right? Like we don't, me as a core contributor, as a co-founder, I don't make these calls, right? So we want to put it to the community and say, like, how do you want it delivered?
I mean, the people are here to listen to you talk, so talk away. But yeah, I've noticed out of all the games out right now, Alluvium is the best at keeping their community up to date with what's happening. There's constant leaks, constant updates, which is amazing. And there's his YouTube channel, Vulcan. You know him, Vulcan. He's been talking about Alluvium for like what, 6, 7 months, 8 months, maybe even a year, and Illuvium's not even out yet. That's because you guys are constantly pushing out updates that he can talk about. Like, I wish I can do that with some of these games that are not out right now, but I can't because there's just not enough content. So props to Illuvium on making that happen.
Yeah, and I think it's not like, you've got to realize, like, you got to dig deeper into that and go, okay, why is there not more stuff, right? Like, what is the reason why I'm not seeing their artwork go from 2D concept art to 3D art, which is the final form of what they're actually going to show me in game, right? Because the answer in Web 2 traditionally will be, we're building in stealth, we're using technology that other people aren't using yet or haven't discovered yet. We've increased performance in the game, like all of these different things. And the reason is that they want to keep that secret. They want to build in stealth. Web 3, we've changed that narrative, right? Like, we're one of the largest games in the space. We've got one of the most amount of hype behind us. You can't really hide behind that veil now of oh no, we just want to be in stealth because we don't want our competitors to see what we're building. We've kind of just thrown that narrative out now. And so you don't have the ability to say, hey, we're building in stealth. So then if that is gone, what else, what other reason are you not showing us progress? And unfortunately, the answer you're going to get almost 99 times out of 100 is there isn't more. They don't have their 3D characters ready. They don't have their land gameplay ready because it literally doesn't exist. And the reason I can be so confident about that is we've got 240 people in our team, right? When I'm seeing other competitors in the space that have 10, 15 people, I know it's physically impossible for them to be showing the kind of stuff that we're showing because we have 10 times the resources that are doing it, that are actually building it, whether it be developing it or the artists that are creating the graphics. Like, it's very, very, very hard to achieve what we are doing right now, and that is the reason why you're seeing other projects struggle with being as transparent as us. Because, I mean, if you don't have it, how do you share it?
Yeah, and
Well
that's the
said.
scary because you never know what's going on behind the scenes. Like some of these pop projects, they're raising a ton of money and they're just not doing anything, which is kind of sad. But anyways, what were you gonna say, Yellow Panther?
No, it's just like you know how we started with Axie, and like I mean everyone know we started with Axie, and then I just don't really appreciate how they always just do not update, and and yeah, like it's really hard to deliver, especially with a small team like that as well, and with hella fundings, crazy stuff. Okay, anyways, can we talk about the like when will the Overworld come out versus the Zero? Like, yeah.
Yeah, so Overworld, it's we're looking at a gameplay fly through the other day, with my brother, and it's looking really, really good. So we're probably going to have something ready to demo. I want to say in July. I want to say, like, mid July. But again, I don't know. What I was just talking about before is I don't know if the community thinks that that's the best way to roll out, as in, similar to how we've done it with survival mode, where we're slowly rolling people out onto it, and the plan is to then build in, to launch PvP, then to add some yield to that PvP survival mode, and then to have Illuvium Zero, and then to have the Overworld launch. We're just not sure that that is the best way to roll out, and we're totally fine to do it. Like, it doesn't worry us. But the plan originally was to have all the different regions in, all the different crafting mechanisms, and have the overworld fully done and playable when there is Alluvium Arena out as well, and survival mode, plus the companion game Alluvium Zero. So there will be a version that's ready that goes into alpha, mid June, early July. But I'm just not sure if the strategy yet will be to release that. So it'll be up to the community.
Got you, got you. So should we talk about the land sale?
100%.
All right. So let me just share a tweet. I mean, it looks really good, and the other thing is that it's on mobile too, so that's awesome.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest things. If we
Yeah.
didn't,
Do you
if we
wanna
didn't have
talk?
Illuvium Zero on mobile, I would be very concerned.
Yeah. Do you wanna explain why so and why is it so important?
For sure. So Alluvium, the main game, is set to release on PC and Mac, but it won't be available on mobile. Not this year anyway. We're we're now working very, very fast to have something released in 2023, but it's not available this year. And so for us, there's millions of players that are playing mobile Web3 games right now, and they might not have access, it's not even they might not. We know for a fact that they don't have access to desktops, and I'm more talking people in developing nations like Philippines and stuff like that, where they're playing Axie right now on their mobile. It's really important that we can make the game accessible for people in the Philippines and South America and stuff like that, because they are predominantly the players right now in this space. So that's why it's so important to go on mobile for Alluvium Zero.
And about the land, let's talk about the prices because this has sparked some kind of debate on NFT Twitter. So I understand that this was voted on by the community. So do you think you can talk about why a community would vote for higher prices and what the Alluvium team will be using the DRAM for?
Yeah, I'm I'm glad you picked up on that. It's been a pretty fun weekend for me
It's
on
a it's
on
a Rich versus Kieran.
yeah. I think I've gone hard against at like three or four people, and the reason is it's so frustrating when people come at us. Firstly, it's important to note that you're not, and I did tweet about this recently, but you're not coming at me, you're not coming at the overall team of 240 people. You're literally coming at like 500,000 people. There's like 300,000 people on our Twitter. There's 200,000 people in Discord. There's God knows how many on Telegram across like so many different. We've had like millions of people register for this. And when you come out and you say, oh, this is just a cash grab, and look at these prices, these are insane, you're going to look like a fool when that community turns around and says, we set those prices. We did that. Not the team, not some guy who just unilaterally came about and said, you know what? I reckon this is what the price of land should be. And the reason the community said it like that is because of the mechanics of the sale. So we utilize a Dutch auction. We have which means that the pricing of the land starts very, very high. We're saying that it's essentially inflated pricing. And the reason is we want to make sure that we're setting the price higher than what people are willing to buy at as soon as the auction starts. And the reason for that is we're trying to make a gas war non existent across our entire land sale. And if we went out and said, okay, a tier one plot is which is currently priced at 2 ETH, which is our base price, right? Which essentially like $3,500 US, which is very, very expensive. But that price will go down to 4.79% of the starting price if it doesn't sell. So you've got this huge range from like 3,500 down to like $200 if it doesn't sell, and that happens over a 2 hour period. And obviously the most amount of decay is at the start because it's reducing by 2.5% per minute. So in the first 30 minutes, it's already at half price of the starting price. So that allows people to wait and only purchase when they feel comfortable. So you get a whole bunch, instead of people buying as soon as it launches, and let's say we put it at 1 ETH or whatever, you just get thousands of people trying to purchase at that 1 ETH price, and it creates this huge gas war. And that's not fun for anyone. We're not trying to make the miners rich in this sale. We're trying to actually distribute our land. So that's why the the council, which is voted in by the community, decided to actually increase the price of land. Previously, these prices were lower than this. Like the prices that the team set in this were lower than what the council actually decided to put through. So like that's why it's so insane to come at the team and be like, God, this is a cash grab. Because it's like, we actually wanted to price it cheaper. And the council was like, you're idiots. Like, this is going to create a gas war. You need to increase it. Who cares what price it goes to? The only thing that matters is that they go low enough that it makes sense. If the lowest price was still higher than what people were willing to pay, then that would be a failure. But when these people who come at us on Twitter actually research the sale and the mechanics of it, they end up saying you should make it a higher price, a higher starting price, and it's like, well, god damn it, like what am I meant to say to that? Like you, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's completely fair. That makes sense. Yeah, so like the ending price is only a couple $100, which is it's definitely not going to reach a couple $100. I think it's
I
going to
mean, we
start.
don't know. That's the thing, right? Like even if we were to say, okay, we think the price is going to go down to 200 and we put it like point 0.1 ETH, right? Like the point is no one knows
Yeah,
what the price is going to be. And even if you had a magic ball, a crystal ball that allowed you to figure out the pricing that people would be comfortable with a month ago, that's completely out the window now. The markets have completely shifted, they've changed, people's buying strategy have changed, their liquidity has changed. So, like, again, we have no idea, and we seriously think this is the best way to find price discovery.
yeah. I mean, and you're pleasing your community, right? So it doesn't really matter what people from outside of Illuvium that's not going to play or invest in it thinks about it.
Yeah, I mean, most of the time, these people actually have a game of their own that they're building or they're advising for or something like that. So when you dig into it, it's kind of like, oh, okay, I see. You kind of don't want us to do well in this sale. Makes sense.
Yo, chill, chill, chill. But all good, all good. You know, there's some heat, so it's all good. It's all good.
I love the
Um,
heat.
yeah, the heat's good. So I mean, can we besides the price, I actually like the Dutch auction and also the higher price because I myself bought the art deeds and paid like 1.5 ETH just for gas alone. So that's really appreciated.
What was that? What did you buy?
The the Yuga Labs land
Yeah,
art,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that one, it costs I think the biggest gas war in history so
300,
far.
300 million or something.
Yeah,
That's a lot.
in a few hours or in a day, I forgot. But yeah, it was crazy. And at the end of the day, the miners actually won, like you said. So we don't want that. That's unnecessary. So yeah. Can we talk about region? Because this
Mhm.
is I think a lot of people missed out on regions, right? When you buy the land, you don't know which region you'll end up with, right? You only
No,
know
you do.
oh, we do?
Yeah, so the cool thing is, you actually, there's a whole interface where we're planning on putting this live prior, so you could actually get in there and start favoriting the land that you wanted to purchase. And we're still working on that, but I obviously I don't want to promise that that is going to be available prior to the sale. But that was the plan, so you could actually go in there and go, okay, I'm going to go for these four plots in Tiger Boreal, and then these two in the Crystal Shores, and then this one in Crimson Waste. You get to favorite it all. You know when the starting time is, so you can be around for when it's going available. And yeah, you get to actually check out the plot before you purchase it. The thing that is random are the element and fuel sites that you get on your plot.
Got you, got you. So, for those of you who do not know, the land is actually, to produce fuel, which is very important for the ecosystem of, Illuvium. Can we also talk a little bit about fuel? Is it gonna
Yeah,
be like a token, a new token, or like just a resource that you can exchange?
yeah. So it's an ERC 20 token, and the reason it's so important is it's what fuels the entire economy inside of Alluvium. So there are different types of fuel for the different type of interactions in Alluvium. So you need Solons, Hyperions, and Kryptons for traveling in the main game. So like going to the 7 different regions to capture alluvials. in order to capture an alluvial, you need a shard, and to actually make use of a shard that you mine from the core in Alluvium, you need to cure it, and to cure it, you need fuel. So that's again another very core uh, action inside the game that requires it. In terms of crafting the different weapons and armor, that all requires fuel. If you go into battle and one of your alluvials faints, you can either wait until it recovers, or you can go into the hospital and you can revive it. If you do want to revive it, then that costs fuel. And so there's many interactions in the main game that require fuel, and the only way to get that fuel is from someone who owns alluvium land.
So would you say that the users that own Illuvium land, can they just, would they monopolize this fuel?
Yes. So technically, so for the moment, no, they can't. The maximum effect that they can have on the in-game pricing for travel and curing of shards and everything that I just discussed is 25% each way. So we basically got it on rails. So what that means in a practical sense is, let's say the landowners of the generating the most amount of fuel for travel. Let's just say they withheld it and said, "Ha ha ha, we're never going to sell you fuel, so you can never travel into any of the regions in Alluvium." All it would do is, because we're providing fuel as like the DAO, it's an internal mechanism. They can only increase it or decrease it by 25%. So let's just say you were going to travel to a region and it was going to cost you $10. Instead of it costing you $10, it would then cost you $12.50, because the landowners are deciding to be assholes at this point.
Damn, those landowners. I'm sure Kagi will buy some land. I hope he gives me some discounts.
But the cool thing there is, it won't stay like that. The reason why I say temporarily we've got it on rails, I don't think it's going to stay like that, right? Because think about the coordination that's required to have like, this is a fully decentralized game, to have all of the landowners be like, nope, you know what, we're not selling any of our solons into the pool no matter what. Like, you're going to get people who go, well, now I'm getting a premium. Like, before I was getting it was $1, now I'm getting $1.10 for my fuel. It's like, well, sorry guys, I want to join in on your little land baron game here, but like, I'm getting 10% more than I usually would, so I'm selling. And then you get, then more people go, oh my god, he disbanded from our group, I'm selling too. And then you get like, it's a 9% increase, 8% increase, 7%, and it eventually goes back to peg. And then there's a few people who are like, oh my god, it's crashing forever. No, everyone's going into travel, I'm gonna sell all of my solons, until the point where it's like, well, now I'm selling it so cheap that it's not worth it, and so I'm going to sell a different type of fuel. And so it should even itself out. And that's the cool thing about having a real world economy. As long as there are people taking the actions in the main game, as in, like, as long as there's a demand equally, or at least, somewhat even across the different fuels, then it will all work out, by traditional market forces.
Yeah. And if you want to go about buying land, you can do it with SILV and ETH.
Now it's SILV2. Definitely don't want people to go out and buy SILV. I'm sure I'm sure that's still circling, but yeah, no, we deprecated that. So it's SILV2 in terms of tier 1 to 4 land, and you can only purchase tier 5 land using ETH. And it's probably worth mentioning as well that there is virtual land as well. So uh, part of Alluvium Zero is there's only ever going to be 100,000 players, right? There's only 100,000 plots. And so a lot of people are like, oh, that seems like a bit of a whale game, and to be honest, it is. It's all about, it's very similar to what staking is. It's about bootstrapping the economy for Alluvium, and we've turned that into a fun game. Now, if you can't access that, you can also play with a virtual tier of land. And so that will allow you to go, okay, do I actually think this game is fun? How does it work? And you don't need any upfront investment to start that.
So that's free, right?
It's free, but it's not connected to the blockchain. So you're not going to be able to generate any fuel.
So is it still gonna be on the mobile or like?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Okay. I also want to ask, like, um, how do you guys like? Also, why do you guys choose Immutable X? Like, you guys choose to do your sale there, right?
Yeah. So we were actually trying to get the entire sale onto layer two. The reason we use Immutable X is they've got sub-second transaction times, so like really, really fast network, and there are no minting fees or gas fees that you'll be charged. So in terms of why that's relevant for this sale, is you'll be purchasing the land on L1 on the Ethereum network, but the contract mints it on layer two. So you're saving about 60% of gas just purely from that. And the cool thing there is once you get onto Immutable X, people will be able to start trading their different lands for no gas fees, and yeah, it's super streamlined, very very fast network. It's yeah, it's awesome to use.
I think some alpha, the SLV price is actually cheaper than the SLV2 price is actually cheaper than the ILV price. So yeah, maybe now's a buy, not financial advice.
Yeah, I mean, look, that's a really weird one, and I'm I'm kind of done talking with the the SILV2 unofficial pool. It is an opportunity for you to go and buy SILV2 cheaper than what the ILV price is. The reason that's important is SILV2 is pegged to the ILV price. So effectively, whatever ILV is on the day of the land sale, that will be your buying power in SILV2. So if you go and purchase, if on the day of the land sale it's at ILV's at $300, your SILV2 buying power will be, for each token of your SILV2, will be $300. So if you purchase that cheaper, then you're getting a little bit more buying power for your tokens. The reason I'm hesitant to even mention this is because the market is so volatile right now. As long as the token doesn't go any lower, then yes, it is an opportunity. But again, you know, anything can happen. So again, totally not financial advice, but yes, it is a bit of an opportunity right now.
Yep. Do it at your own risk. Any more questions, Yellow Panther?
That's awesome. I have a fun question. How is it like, or what is it like to start a business with your siblings? Because I have a sister myself, so we've been doing some NFT, some stuff together. So I want to know.
Look, it has its challenges. It definitely has its challenges. Grant and I are very, very competitive people, and we But we get along and and we have a lot of fun with each other. But at the same time, like any siblings that you're very close with in age, you can also have a lot of fights with them. And I think that comes down to you grow up together, you have a lot of similarities. As I said, like 20, 30 PlayStation PlayStation controllers were broken in that FIFA stint. Now we're still best friends, at the end of the day, right? Like it's a lot of fun, but I'd say it's more controlled with Aaron. Definitely more steady. There's less fights between us, and I think it's probably due to us being a little bit further apart in age. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's super fun. Like we're looking back 18 months on from when we like first had the concept and started talking about it to now, you can't help but go, I'm so glad that I did this with my brothers because, family are so important.
That's awesome. Okay, we have a speaker here, Banks. Do you have a question for Kieran?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep.
Sure can.
Yeah. My question was just about the Alluvium land. I just wanted to know, obviously, after purchase on the immutable X, is it something that you can start playing straight away on your phone, or is it something we have to wait for the Dutch auction to end and then it goes activated?
So it'll be live about 3 to 4 weeks after the land sale is completed.
Got you. That's perfect. That's my question. Thanks, guys.
No worries. All good, mate.
Thank you. Okay, guys. Professor, you want to open to the floor, or you have more questions?
No, that's all the questions that I
Oh
have.
wait, I just want to say, look at the tier 4 Lando. It's so nice, but but damn, I wish I can have one.
Which land are you going to be going for?
Definitely the tier 1.
Yeah.
Tier 1, nice.
Yeah, I'm trying to get the tier 1 too.
Something that I can reach. You know what I mean?
The bear market's hitting hard.
Yeah, I might need to apply job.
Yeah.
Don't FOMO in.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
McDonald's.
I've got another question if you've got a minute.
Sure.
I was just wanting to know what kind of prices are we looking at gas fees, like highest it can go to? Currently, I've put like 300 quid in just to cover gas fees. Is that enough, or should I be expecting more?
Unfortunately, with the Ethereum network, the way that it is right now, and us not being fully on layer 2, there's just too many variables to be able to say what it's going to be like. Someone might decide to run a stupidly popular sale on the same day, and that could congest the network, which is going to
Of course.
increase the amount that I would say you would need massively. So yeah, with those variables, it's just too hard to tell.
Oh, that's fine. Thank you.
No worries, mate.
Yeah, if anyone else has questions, do raise your hand and we'll bring you on for sure. But for now, Kieran, is there anything else that you would like to add?
Not really. Not at this stage. I happy to answer any questions that people have, but I think I've been talking enough.
Sure. Okay, well, I think we should let you sleep. You've had a frustrating day with the electricity and...
Yes.
No.
Yes. Really sorry about that, but
No, it's not your fault. But
thank you for taking your time.
I think it's your fault.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. So if there are no other questions, I would just say I'll close with saying definitely jump in the Discord. If you're not interested in the land sale, we're building some really big stuff and in Web3 in terms of the main Alluvium game. You don't need a plot of land to play in Alluvium, the main game. It's an open world collectible game that is super exciting, very similar to Pokemon. If you're not into that, then there's an auto battler that you can get into, which is more like your competitive esports scene. So we've really tried to make this game for everyone. So again, if you're not into the land, definitely still join the Discord and check out what we're building, because we try and have something for everyone.
Yeah, definitely. I am very excited for Alluvium. And we do have one question from Joseph, if you don't mind answering.
For sure.
Yeah, what's up, Kieran? It's Godson. I did an interview with you real quick. Well, I did an interview with you a while ago, but I have two questions for you real quick. I think this is the one that a lot of people maybe are concerned with. You don't have to give, the you can give your opinion about this, but I'm just curious. Two things. With the land sale, I understand that the plots are random, like the fuel sites and everything are random. Do you know if it's better to go for tons of tier twos or tier ones, or just go for that tier four that I've been waiting for? And the second thing is, you mentioned about, I think you said plots, so like a 2x2 or a 4x4, whatever it was. Could you expand on that?
Yeah, so megacities, you can connect up a 2x2 and a 3x3 plot. Why that becomes so important is if you've got a bunch of tier ones, let's say you've got 2 tier ones and 1 tier 2 and 1 tier 4, right? Which is what you were intimating that you were going to go for. That right now, the tier 4 obviously has the fuel landmark, so you get that massive production boost in fuel. When you connect it up to a megacity, all of those tiers get access to that landmark's production boost. So you can imagine then the increase that you get once you expand out to a megacity. It's going to be pretty big in terms of helping you out with your strategy. It really depends, right? Like tier 4, it sounds like you want to be generating as much fuel as possible. That's one strategy. Another strategy that I've heard and I'm certainly interested in myself is going after a whole bunch of tier 1s. The reason being the singularity scanner on a tier 1 has the exact same effectiveness as any of the other tiers. And so being able to scan for as many alluvials as possible to be able to create those super rare blueprints, there's only 10,000 in existence, is another strategy. And if you go and blow your entire liquidity on a tier 4, then you might not be able to have access to tier 1s. Then there's arguments to say that the tier 3 is needed as well, because you want to boost as much as and how many elements you're creating, so you can build as many structures on your land as possible. So like it's in typical Illuvium fashion. There's not just a one way is fits all, right? Like there's different strategies, there's different meta, and we don't even know there's so many variables in terms of the in-game Alluvium stuff that we don't know what land plot is going to be the best, and there isn't one strategy that I can confidently say is by far the best. And I think that's what's cool about this.
Right, and you did mention, I think I heard you say this in an interview, that there would be scholarships, right, or scholars that we could loan our land out to. Do you know if that'll be on the website, or would that be just a guild-based thing?
So that will actually be in game. We want that experience to be seamless for the landowner, and we want them to be able to just quickly lease out their land and then revoke that on their own terms.
All right. Thank you very much for answering my questions.
No worries, man.
Cool. We have one last question. Waif, you may ask your question.
Yeah. Hey, how you going? How you going, Kieran?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, good. Yeah, I copped that storm as well tonight, and it was pretty gnarly. Hey, I'm just up in Sydney as well, so
it's crazy. It was I didn't even. It was not raining at all, and then it was definitely raining. It was like hailing here.
Yeah, hectic too. It was like a thin like band that just like came up the coast there. Anyway, checked the radar and I was like, whoa, yeah. So just as I was about to leave the office, so I kind of got reined in anyway. But yeah, no, just quickly, if it is a quick one, I could ask you just to touch on, because I heard it in a space the other day, and you were talking about the blueprints,
Mhm.
and I don't know if that's like, can you like touch on that? Like explain that again, because I'm
Sure.
trying to get my head around it, if that's all right, because I think
Yeah,
that's
for sure.
cool.
No problem.
That
So
awesome.
blueprints are what are required to create skins for different armor in the game. I don't want to say weapons because it's not weapons yet, but it may be in the future. But essentially, the ranger that you see,
Yeah.
that you're able to skin it with different alluvial based
That's
armor. So, for example, how you actually do that is one of the structures you can create in Illuvium 0, and this is again across all the tiers. It's possible to create a singularity scanner. So that's
yep.
a building. It'll cost you some elements to be able to build this, but it's something that picks up when an alluvial comes across your land.
Yep.
So again, it's very important. The alluvial that you see is going to be based on the region that you purchase it in. So, for
Yeah.
example, Crimson Waste, that's where most of the fire-based alluvials are going to be found. So, if you want the blueprint and you want to be able to create a skin based on Ramfire, which is one of our fire-based characters, then you'd want to buy land in the Crimson Waste region.
Yeah.
How that
Yeah.
actually works is you build the singularity scanner, it picks up a ram fire. You then have another structure, which is your research center. So you take that bio data that you've just scanned and you start researching it. Every now and again, you get super lucky, and out will pop a blueprint. That blueprint gives you the ability to mint any number of these pieces of armor. So, for example, let's say like the hybrid. I don't know if you're playing the beta, but if you are, there's a hybrid piece of armor.
Not
You,
yet. I'm waiting. It's all good. I'm
yeah,
patient.
you could essentially skin that in Ramfire, so it'll look like this
Oh,
awesome fiery like Arlen
yeah.
character that you have out on the board, and
Mm.
obviously that's a massive flex. Now the cool thing there is that's your blueprint to own, and you might be the only person in the world that has that
Yeah.
blueprint. So
Yeah.
effectively, you control the supply and the market price of that item. So
Yeah.
if someone wants to buy that from you, it's literally you make up the price. If
Yeah.
someone wants to buy the armor off you, obviously it's going to be cheaper, but you can make as many as you want.
Multiple. Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
so you essentially create like a little
So
mini
smart.
business.
Such a cool. Fuck, it's just so deep in there, man. You guys are like, yeah, insane. And like all these layers and how they're gonna like eventually play out and work in with each other. Um, yeah, it's kind of mind blowing. So yeah, just to kind of think about that, and then so can I? So we're saying that in your land. So that's in the zero, yeah, in the Lumen Zero. Is that what like it comes into
Correct.
your land then? And then do you have to be like monitoring your land like in a way like 24/7 in case that happens, or will you get a notification like a like
No, you get a notification, so you don't need to like research the
okay.
blueprint immediately. Like it's not a once your scanner has picked up the data, you have that data.
Uh-huh. Cool. I understand. All right. There you go. That's cool. And like you say, the scanner, like, are we talking like, like those buildings that are there, like, in all the different cities and stuff? Is it like a command and conquer kind of looking like building? You'd go, right, I build my power stations or something. Now I can get a production center. Now I can get like a research lab. Now I can get my scanner. Is there like a tree of progression there?
Exactly, 100%.
Uh-huh. Got it. I've got to dust off my Command and Conquer days back in 1998 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Show me age, but yeah, that's gold. That's really cool.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks, Waif. I think it's really late in Australia already, so we gotta wrap it up for Kieran. It has been a long day.
No worries. Thank you guys so much for putting this on. Really appreciate it, Yellow Panther. Thank you, Professor.
Hey, no worries.
Coming on.
We hope you have a great rest.
Yeah.
Cheers, man.
Cheers.
See you guys.